it is officially February, which means Pokemon's 20th anniversary is later this month. So in honor of the 20th anniversary, I decided to do a special video for my top 20 favorite Pokemon. Well, sort of. It is technically my top 20, but it's my top 20 slot, so there are a few overlaps on some numbers. But it's still my top 20, so we're just going to start. Alright, so number 20. Pumpkaboo and Cleffa. As you can see, this is kind of a weird tie, but I really like both. Pumpkaboo ended up being one of the last Pokemon I decided to use for my party in X, but I ended up getting really attached to it. I found it looked like a cute pumpkin with a bat hat, though I suppose you could also look at it as a bat with pumpkin-shaped pants. Regardless, this cute combination ended up winning my heart in the end. Meanwhile, Cleffa is an interesting case, that is one of the few baby Pokemon I like more than the rest of the line. I do like Clefairy and Clefable too, but out of the three, Cleffa is my favorite. I've always found it really cute, and loved how it looked so much like a tinier version of its evolutions, even if it may be a little less unique than some of the other baby Pokemon. Continuing along, we have number 19, Marill. Besides being both of my favorite types as of Gen 6, there's a lot of nostalgia regarding Marill, due to the whole Peekaboo thing. In fact, I still name my first Marill in each game Peekaboo. Number 18, Wigglytuff and Jigglypuff. While they are in the same line, I actually like each of them for very different reasons. I became attached to Jigglypuff through both Smash Brothers and the anime. I always found it looked especially cute in the Smash Brothers series, especially with the bow, and while I never personally used it in the main games, it still became special to me, and is one of my favorite characters to use in Smash. Meanwhile, Wigglytuff managed to grow pretty special to me during the Super Mystery Dungeon games, and it made me appreciate the Pokemon a lot more because of it. Number 17, Vaporeon. In general, the evolutions tend to be rather popular, but while I do like most of them, they have never been some of my top favorites. Despite that, I have always really liked Vaporeon, and it has managed to stay my favorite evolution after all this time. Number 16, Pachirisu. It's a cute pastel squirrel, and it's adorable, and I love it. Number 15, Altaria. I've always liked Altaria a lot, and it was one of my favorite Pokemon when I first played Gen 3. And how can you not like a fluffy cloud bird? Number 14, Charizard. Charizard is another big nostalgic Pokemon for me. I actually didn't plan to pick Charmander at all when I first started up my copy of Pokemon Blue, but accidentally did. Despite making the game a lot harder in the beginning, it became very special to me, and is why Charizard has a place in my heart to this day. Number 13, Chansey. Chansey was one of the last Pokemon I managed to get when working on my very first Pokédex, and I just really loved its design along with the fact that it was Nurse Joy's assistant. Number 12, Shiny Celebi. This is going to be the only one where I am specifically pointing out the shiny version over the normal one, and while I like the normal one, the shiny version is super special to me for two reasons. One, the fact that it's pretty much all my favorite colors, and two, the shiny Celebi in the second Mystery Dungeon games is one of my all-time favorite characters, and it's hard not to end up getting attached to it. Number 11, Pikachu. Now, if you asked me who my favorite Pokemon was ages ago, I would have said Pikachu. And then if you asked me why, I wouldn't have had an answer for you. I'm not a big fan of the color yellow, or even electric types. And yet, Pikachu was still my number one. I do think a lot of it is from nostalgia. After all, Pikachu became the Pokemon mascot for a reason. But I definitely did prefer Pikachu's original look and everything. Even just that picture of Pikachu is strongly nostalgic for me. With that, we're halfway through and up to the final 10, starting with Aurorus. I like Aurorus a lot. My favorite dinosaur is the Brontosaurus, so when I saw the fossil Pokemon were dinosaurs in Gen 6, and that one of them was a Brontosaurus, I was thrilled. It's really pretty, has little gemstones along the side, a kind of mane that looks like an Aurora Borealis, and is just really awesome. Number 9, Vivillon. I'll be honest, I never expected to have a favorite bug Pokemon. I'm not a big fan of bugs in general, and tend to prefer them to be as far away as possible. That doesn't mean I never find any cute, of course, but even saying, oh, this one is kind of cute, isn't the same as calling one a favorite. Let alone one making its way into my top 10. Despite that, I really love Vivillon. I think it's adorable, and the metal pattern especially is my favorite, being one of my favorite color combinations. But one of the coolest things is just how many color variants it has. I've actually collected each one, and I'm hoping more may come out in the future. Number 8, Skitty. This is another Pokemon where I didn't end up expecting to like it, but then ended up getting really attached. In the first two Pokemon Mystery Dungeon games, I managed to get naive for my personality type, which meant I ended up playing as a Skitty, and after playing as a Skitty for 2 games I really loved, I became really attached to it. Number 7, Togetic and Togepi. I remember when Togepi was first shown in the anime, and I found it absolutely adorable. It nearly beat Pikachu out as my favorite at the time, and even did for a short while. Misty was always my favorite anime character, and I'll always be sad about how she was written off. But her return in Hoenn, where her Togepi evolved into Togetic, was a really special episode to me. I remember when things first showing Togetic came out, and I wasn't really a big fan of it. But it ended up growing on me a lot, and thus I ended up really liking both. In fact, my Togetic is even named after Misty's Japanese name. Number 6, Diancie. I love rocks and gemstones, and it's literally a gemstone rock Pokemon. Pair that with the fact that it reminds me a lot of my favorite character from Sailor Moon, and it was hard for me not to end up liking Diancie quite a bit. Number 5, Frillish. Well, the female form anyway. I do like the male version as well, but the female version is my favorite, and I just love its princess-like elegance. Number 4, Audino. Battling has always been one of my least favorite things to do in Pokemon, so finding a Pokemon that literally heals you and just wants to be your friend made it stand out to me a lot. It was easily one of my favorites from Gen 5. Number 3, Dragonair. Dragonair has been one of my favorite Pokemon since Gen 1. I've always loved how elegant it looks, and its cute wings and orbs. It has always been one of my top party picks whenever I feel like using old favorites, and is always my number 1 surf user. Number 2, Slurpuff. Slurpuff, like Pumpkaboo, was another Pokemon I felt kinda iffy about at first. I would guess it was partially because of its tongue always sticking out, but it ended up growing on me a lot and became my favorite out of my Pokemon X party. I mean, it's like a marshmallow with frosting. And look at its cute dance. How can you not love it? It's just all cute and squishy and dancey, and that's why it's my second favorite. Finally, while I know this won't be a surprise to some people if you follow me like anywhere else, number 1 is Mega Audino, which also has the best Mega Stone. While I just liked Audino, I ended up falling in love with Mega Audino's design at first sight. I was up late the night it leaked, and so I was seeing pictures, and I was just so incredibly excited. The only thing that really bugged me was the fact that it happened to be a Mega Evolution. I'm not too big on the concept of Mega Evolution, as I find it rather convoluted, and just not really needed. As Audino is technically a one-stage Pokemon, Mega Audino could have easily been an evolution, and I kind of would have preferred that, as I'd love to just have it as a Mega Audino permanently, and be able to play with it in Pokemon and Me. Despite the fact that Mega Audino is a Mega Evolution, I still absolutely adore its design, and how can you not? It looks like a white mage fairy princess, and even has little boots with angel wings. And I mean, it's adorable Mega Evolving, it's super cute dancing, it can use heal pose to help all kinds of Pokemon, it's really cute cheering, it poses really cutely. I mean, seriously, look at that. It can even drop in really cutely. And it can even kick butt. It is not just a healer. It does awesome things and can ruin people's day if they're jerks. Because Mega Audino is awesome. And really awesome. And I wish it got more stuff because it deserves it. I even collect Mega Audino stuff. There isn't many official items, unfortunately, but I have gotten a lot of awesome custom stuff at least. And even have a collection site, which I'll be sure to link in the description for anyone curious. I just hope we'll get more official stuff too, and maybe not with the same artwork constantly. But yes, so Mega Audino is my number 1 favorite Pokemon. So thank you for watching, and a big happy 20th anniversary to Pokemon. I hope everyone has a good February, and I look forward to seeing what else Pokemon will bring out this year.